Hello, Steve White, Steve White 89. Well, I've done this video twice because I was trying to keep to 5 minutes and I failed because I've got a lot to say, so I'm going to try really hard to be, to the point. Okay, I watched The Equalizer starring Queen Latifah, the reboot. Now, I saw the original show back in the day when I was a kid, in repeats, I think. I enjoyed it. Not sure why. It starred an old white guy, Edward Woodward, and when I heard they were rebooting it with Queen Latifah, I was like, what? That just didn't make sense. And then I thought, well, I can buy her as that. Her persona is she's like tough and from the streets and all that, so I can see her being someone who would, be able to help people. And in the storyline, she was in like the armed forces or SWAT or something. I can't remember. I don't pay attention to military, but she had experience just like the original Equalizer, and there is no relationship. It's not like that's his daughter or something or someone he recruited to take over his role. It's just a straight reboot. And I think basically a lot of the people criticising the show were just haters, people who have issues with diversity and representation, and the idea of a black woman starring in her own action show and a reboot of a show that used to star a white guy just triggered a bunch of people, and that's just really sad. Now, this sort of criticism is valid in this case. Now, for example, Star Trek Discovery, I have issues with that show. I don't have any issues with Sonequa Martin Green and a black woman leading a science fiction action show. That's not the issue. Just like with this, there's no issues. I love Queen Latifah. I've seen her in a bunch of movies, of course. Chicago, The Last Holiday. I love that movie with LL Cool J. And there's a few others she's been in over the years that I've seen. She does tend to play the same character a bit. She can act, but she sort of has that persona that they usually play on. So they do blend into each other a bit. I've seen a lot of her films, and I've got a bunch of them on DVD over the years. She's been around forever. She came up in, I think, the 80s or the early 90s with her rap music and that. So, she's been in our lives, and a lot of the criticisms were just ridiculous. The one about her size, yet the same people criticise Ruby Rose in Batwoman because they're saying, oh, she's too small, she's not believable that she can take on these men, and yet they have Queen Latifah, who's a bigger girl, but yet they're acting like she couldn't do it because she's bigger, and they're making fun of her running and stuff like that. I'm like, and just acting like they had to cut away all these little stories about they had to like do fast cuts because she couldn't do the action. I'm like, that's how they stage all the action scenes. Now, if they've got a really good martial arts person, they can do a wide shot and have them go through the whole scene with all the moves. It's like a ballet. They've got all their points and everything, and they've got to hit all the marks and all that. Not all actors can do that, and a lot of the time they do separate shots, do separate actions with separate shots, so they can cut it all together and make it really fast, and it works. And that's just how they do things. It's got nothing to do with her performance and the idea of her size being an issue. That's just fat shaming and sizist, and the issues of her being the star are just racist and haters who have issues of diversity and representation. So I loved the show. I was thinking of watching it because I'd heard all these bad criticisms. I thought, well, I'm going to have to watch it because I can't just believe what these people are saying. So I thought I watched a couple episodes of the original show just to remind me what that was like, and then I'll watch the show. So I was planning to watch it, and then I just stumbled across it on, I don't know if it was Binge or Amazon Prime, because a friend bought me Amazon Prime, a year membership, and I was looking through that to see what was on. And then I had Binge for Sex and the City, so I had that on, so I can't remember where I saw it. I think it was Amazon Prime. They're selling it. You can buy it. You can buy the individual episodes, so I just found it then, but I'm not sure that's where I actually watched it. But they only had 10 episodes for the first season, and it was pretty good. The only criticism I have of the show, honestly, I mean, the characters were good, they were believable, the action was fun. It was a little bit James Bond in a few moments, but that was fun. It sort of took away from some of the more serious stories. I think that worked. And plenty of white, straight action guys, have fun with their actions, so why can't she? It's just double standards. But there were only 10 episodes, and I hadn't planned to watch them, and I ended up staying up really late to get to the end of the season because I was just enjoying the show. I was looking forward to each episode. After each episode ended, I wanted to watch the next one. And they did a second season with 7 episodes, so whether that's been shortened because of COVID or whether the first season was shortened by COVID, I'm not sure, but there were some loose ends in the last couple of episodes where I was really expecting stuff and it just got dropped. And I actually thought I'd fallen asleep for an episode or skipped the wrong episode, and I went back and rewatched it, and I'm like, no, I didn't. They just dropped these stories and didn't pick them up. They just went nowhere. So that's the only criticism I have of the show. Whether they pushed them into the next season, whether they couldn't finish the season because of COVID, I don't know what happened. But aside from that, the show was great. The action was good. The overall show, the feeling of it was fun, even though there were serious topics, serious issues. And I find Queen Latifah perfectly believable in the role and the character believable, and the stories are important. It's not all race and representation, but that is a big part of it because, I mean, if you're a black person or a person of colour and you feel like you're being victimised, and you need help, are you going to turn to the white establishment? No, you're going to turn to someone like her. It makes perfect sense. So I think people are criticising it just being haters. So I want to do a video just so there's a positive review out there, just to add to that voice. So yeah, and I did it in 5 minutes. So feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I hope I didn't forget anything. Seriously, I'd like to know what other people think. I'm sure not everyone, hated it, and those people are just, a bunch of haters, just, being the loudest. I'm gonna go. Thanks. Bye.